Welcome back, heathens. Today we're going to be playing Betrayals, a level with a name that we're going to be getting into in a little bit, and following on from the last level, which is, by popular consensus, the worst level in Halo 1, this is the level that I feel is the worst one in Halo 1. That being said, though, it does start with a pretty cool cutscene, so I'm not going to talk over that because there's a lot of big plot story stuff here, and this is finally the point where I don't have to hold back talking about any story stuff in relation to this game, barring one thing that's going to come up in the next level anyway. So I'm very excited to talk about that, while simultaneously kinda dreading this level, and if you're looking at this screenshot of the level, it may look quite familiar, and you might be starting to understand why I'm not looking forward to it. But it's okay. It's gonna be worth it. Just stick with it. There's some gold here, we get to talk about some really cool story stuff, so just stick with me, we're gonna have some good times. So, let's dive in to Two Betrayals.
Which means that any organism with sufficient mass and cognitive capability is a potential vector. Is something wrong?
No, nothing.
Splendid, shall we? Unfortunately, my usefulness to this particular endeavor has come to an end. Protocol does not allow units with my classification to perform a task as important as the reunification of the index with the core. That final step is reserved for you, Reclaimer. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh, really?
Cortana.
I've spent the last 12 hours cooped up in here watching you toady about, helping that thing get set to slit our throats.
Hold on now. He's a friend.
Oh, I didn't realize. He's your pal, is he? Your chum? Do you have any idea what that bastard almost made you do?
Yes. Activate Halo's defenses and destroy the Flood, which is why we brought the index to the control center.
You mean this?
A construct in the core? That is absolutely unacceptable.
Sod off!
Why, you madness! I shall purge you at once!
You sure that's a good idea?
How dare you? Oh!
Do what? I have the index. You can just float and sputter.
Enough! The Flood is spreading. If we activate Halo's defenses, we can wipe them out.
You have no idea how this ring works, do you? Why the Forerunners built it? Halo doesn't kill Flood. It kills their food. Humans, Covenant, whatever. We're all equally edible. The only way to stop the Flood is to starve them to death. And that's exactly what Halo is designed to do. Wipe the galaxy clean of all sentient life. You don't believe me? Ask him.
Is it true?
More or less. Technically, this installation's pulse has a maximum effective radius of 25,000 light years. But once the others follow suit, this galaxy will be quite devoid of life. Or at least any life with sufficient biomass to sustain the Flood. But you already knew that. I mean, how couldn't you?
Left out that little detail, did he?
We have followed outbreak containment procedure to the letter. You were with me each step of the way as we managed this crisis.
Chief, I'm picking up movement.
Why would you hesitate to do what you've already done?
We need to go right now.
Last time you asked me if it were my choice, would I do it? Having had considerable time to ponder your query, my answer has not changed. There is no choice. We must activate the ring.
Get us out of here.
If you are unwilling to help, I will simply find another. Still, I must have the index. Give your construct to me, or I will be forced to take it from you.
That's not going to happen.
So be it. Save his head. Dispose of the rest.
Look out.
Oh, so much to unpack there, but first a little gameplay thing. You may have noticed we were carrying an assault rifle in that cutscene, and now we've got a plasma pistol and a shotgun. It's not a good combo. It is useful against these guys, and I think this kind of brings up one of the interesting things about level design. There is usually a disconnect, or at least there can be a disconnect between the cutscene developers, the story writers, and the game designers. So, having Chief have an assault rifle in the cutscene makes sense. It's got a much nastier profile, it makes him seem much more powerful than this weedy little thing, and it's his signature weapon. It's human. But this has the ability to instantly knock down sentinels. Useful thing to keep in mind. Now,
We can't let the monitor activate Halo. We have to stop him. We have to destroy Halo. According to my analysis of the available data, I believe the best course of action is somewhat risky. An explosion of sufficient size will help destabilize the ring, and will cut through a number of primary systems. We need to trigger a detonation on a large scale, however. The Starship's fusion reactors going critical would do the job.
okay, so
I'm going to search what's left of the Covenant BattleNet and see if I can locate the Pillar of Autumn's crash site. If the ship's fusion reactors are still relatively intact, we can use them to destroy Halo.
okay, so this is the other problem with this loadout, is that it's really useless at this range, because again, the shotgun's not that good at this range, and the plasma pistol, while not awful, is definitely not our best defensive option, so really it's better to just let the Covenant and the Sentinels fight it out. However, before we get into any of that, so much has just been dropped on us that I am... Jesus Christ, these guys are taking forever to die. Let's kill these guys and take a quick break so I can talk through some of the story stuff, because there is a lot, and I do want to discuss it all, because it is... Oh, the implications are huge. Right, so, let's take a moment. Starting from the beginning, this level is called Two Betrayals. I don't know why, because really there has been one betrayal, and that was either us to Spark or Spark to us. Which I suppose, given the fact that that could go in either direction, does kind of account for the Two Betrayals name, but it's still a bit of a weird one. Next, we've found out what Halo is supposed to do, and it is, if I'm honest, as cool as that touch of lore is, because that really sells the scale of threat the Flood has, where you have to wipe out the entire universe's sentient life in order to stop them. It is poorly explained, I feel. It's, again, it makes sense for this one scene because you're trying to condense it down as much as possible, but there are one or two little blips in the writing that I think do need to be addressed. So number one among them is the line, Halo doesn't kill Flood, it kills their food. What that line should actually read is, Halo doesn't just kill Flood, it kills their food. Because again, as has been the joke among my family for a very long time, why the hell would you ever design a super weapon to specifically not kill the very thing you're trying to stop? That doesn't make sense, and in future games it will be made a little bit more clear that it is supposed to kill Flood as well. So that is something that Halo does. So yeah, we also find out what happened to the Forerunners, because another line that confused me is, last time when you asked me if it were my choice, would I do it? For the longest time, I thought, he never said that to Chief. He's not talking about Chief. He's talking about the Forerunners, who initially had to fire the array, end their own civilization to stop the Flood. But that then leads to the more interesting thing. Spark keeps calling us Reclaimer, and he says, why would you hesitate to do what you have already done? Last time you asked me, if it were my choice, would I do it? Spark seems to think that we're Forerunner, or at the very least, bear something a resemblance to them. There's the other thing as well, he couldn't activate Halo. We could. Why is that? Just food for thought for now. But yeah, it's one of those interesting things. I love that cutscene, I think it's brilliant, and I think the writing overall, because here's the interesting thing. Writing is very easy to criticize, because you can immediately tell if it doesn't sound natural, because we have such experience with talking to people in our everyday lives. Such heroic music for me explaining writing. Let's just get to this guy. Sweet jeez.
Haven't located the crash site yet, but we need to buy some time in case the Monitor or his Sentinels find a way to activate Halo's final weapon without the index. The machinery in these canyons are Halo's primary firing mechanisms. They consist of 3 phase pulse generators that amplify Halo's signal and allow it to fire deep into space. The power levels are enormous. I can't even begin to calculate the pulse's range.
We were told the pulse's range.
So, if we damage or destroy these generators, the Monitor will need to repair them before Halo can be used. That should buy us some time. I'm marking the location of the nearest pulse generator with a nav point. We need to move in and neutralize the device.
Okay, yeah. So, quite expositional dialogue there, but it's useful for gameplay purposes. Again, this is the thing I bring up when I say writing is easy to criticize. And I don't want to vindicate the designers, because I think, again, there are some legitimate fuck-ups there, like that Halo doesn't just kill Flood. Point that I brought up before. However, that scene does a lot of things right. In just a couple of minutes, it accurately sells the villain's motivations, has quite a complex dilemma that it sets up, the balance of stop the Flood but also don't wipe out all sentient life, and throws in a whole load of mysteries and lore while explaining an awful lot about the plot going on. It does that in a very tight, very considered way. But there are some problems, there are some holes, and also, I think it's safe to say that the visual presentation of it was quite well done. It was very well directed, especially given the limited ways they had to animate the cutscenes back then, because a lot of those animations are what's known as playback animations, and forgive me if I am misrepresenting this, but my understanding of playback animation is you are literally taking control of one of the characters, a Chief or Cortana or Spark. I think Chief and Spark are the main ones because Cortana doesn't really move. And you have to physically move them. As in, you literally take control and move the character like I'm moving them now. Get them to hit the exact right spot and then render that and then do that with another character. Does mean you can quite easily correct faults, but it also means that there's a limited number of things that you can really do. And again, that can raise problems. The other layer of it is custom animation, where you have to basically go in and animate the characters directly. So specific things like Cortana disappearing the index, or Spark being knocked down, I think. Those are all custom animations. Those are quite fun. But yeah, just an interesting thing about the makings of these games. Also, we're now seeing exactly how ludicrously powerful this shotgun is.
We'll need it to reach the pulse generator in time.
Oh shit. Wraith, should have picked up a pistol. Okay. Forgive me, by the way, this is going to be a long level, but... Yep. So, we can see that the Flood have made it here. Covenant are still mostly in control of the control room, which brings us back to what I said earlier about taking the control room is one thing, but holding it is quite another. Now, here's the thing with Wraiths. I love the sound design on these things. That little touch of sound design, that sort of whooshing sound you hear as the mortar flies overhead, is brilliant, because you won't always see it, but you can always hear it, and that audio feedback is just as valuable, if not more so, than the visual feedback. Because again, humans react faster to audio stimuli than we do to visual stimuli. I guess because, well, I mean, I don't know why. I assume it's something to do with processing, and that a sound has, I think, a more unique profile, whereas you have to, like, kind of disseminate what visual information is coming your way, and there's a lot more of it at times. That was quite tense because I had to take that thing out without hitting the Banshee. But hey, we're now using the Banshee, which is fun. Now, can you boost in this game? I don't know if you can. No, I don't think you can. Oh well. You will be able to in future games, but we do have the Banshee Bomb, we do have the guns. Unfortunately, not a lot of aerial combat going on right now, but that's okay. I do enjoy these vehicles. Can you do the tricks? No, you can't. Yeah, Halo 2 and Halo 3, I think, have more fun versions of most of these vehicles, but it was pretty cool that even back then, back here, we can still just pilot the most of the Covenant vehicles. I think the Wraith is the only... I'm feeling inclined to retract certain things I just said. Oh, fucking hell. Right. What the fuck? Oh, come on! Right, fine, I'll park it. For God's sake. Splatter mechanics in this game are ridiculous. In future, I'm used to just being able to, like, bail out of those things at a moment's notice. That is embarrassing. For me, as much as it is the game. But yeah. So, here we come to the thing that I really dislike about this level. Hey, remember this room? Get used to it. But it has an extra layer of attached, which is...
That's the pulse generator.
Yeah.
The center core is the signal amplifier. That's what we need to shut down. We need to interrupt the pulse generator's energy stream. I've adjusted your shield system so that it will deliver an EMP burst to disrupt the generator, but you'll need to walk into the beam to trigger it. The EMP blast should neutralize the generator, but it will also drain your shield.
Drain my shields. So you notice I'm on 1 health, so shields are down, and if enemies are about to show up, which I... No, they're not. Oh, no, they are. Yeah, I'm in a bit of a situation, which is why I'm moving so quickly.
Well done.
Okay. So yeah, we're also fighting Sentinels now, so we've introduced yet another new enemy type. These guys aren't that dramatic. They are, again, firing these beams. They can overwhelm, and they fly, so they are a little bit more difficult to deal with, especially if you've got the shotgun on hand, which is not optimized for dealing with them. And this is the other layer of Halo Sandbox, which I think is when it is at its best. Every weapon is good in its own specific situation, and you never want to rely too much on one weapon. And I want to repeat that for all of those people who say that the battle rifle and the pistol are the central points of Halo's combat system. I think it is at its best when you have to recycle weapons. Not to be hard on those guys, because, you know, they make some very valid points, but I just feel like it's more interesting when you're using the full sandbox to its full potential, and every weapon shines its own particular role. So I can use the shotgun in that situation, but it's not ideal for it. I could have used the rocket launcher, but it's much more valuable. If I'd had a plasma pistol on hand, while it wouldn't have been great against the elite, it would have been fantastic there. And the plasma rifle as well, because again, those are mechanical.
The pulse generator is located in the adjacent canyon. Move out and I'll mark the target with a nav point when we get closer.
Okay. I genuinely forget where we're supposed to go. So one thing I do appreciate about this is, you may remember last time we had the issue of, well, I couldn't get the Banshee because they took off with it, so I couldn't use it to get to the control room. Here, they are at least trying to keep the reuse of level fresh.
That's the way to the next canyon.
I shouldn't have bailed out like that. That could have easily killed me. They are trying to keep the level fresh by giving me a Banshee to pilot around. Although again, the level, not being specifically designed for the use of the Banshee, I can only use it for so long. I'm really using it for platforming, which... You okay, buddy? You seem a little bit sluggish. I mean, you're dead now, but... I think maybe you had a bit too much to eat. Anyway. I'm actually running out of ammo. And health. Quite badly. Yep. Yeah, so, again, going back through these rooms isn't great. What is with this Grunt's walk cycle? That's just bizarre. I'm burning these rockets because I already know that... I mean, unless I'm fighting Wraiths, this thing is useful, definitely. I mean, it's a power weapon for a reason, but it's not my favorite to use. It's a bit too unpredictable, I find. Aha, you thought you'd get the jump on me, did you? I'm kind of, even though I'm very low on ammo, I'm reluctant to drop the shotgun in favor of another weapon right now, just because it is so useful at this range. However, I do only have one shot, so it's time for a plasma rifle. Because again, any refill of shotgun ammo is usually just going to come in the form of a shotgun anyway, so no real reason to worry. Yeah. We are doing it backwards, which is kind of fresh, but again, I have a limited thing to say about this level because it front-loads a lot of its content. I mean, it kind of has to. There's no real choice. And again, you do something like this if you're out of time. So, was it the right move to redo this level? Yes, it was. It may suck, it may be the worst level in the game, but again, I'd rather have this level in it than to just have basically a missing level and less content. But now we have Flood. I'm suddenly glad I kept a rocket launcher around because now we have to deal with flesh again. So human weaponry is going to come in handy. And I don't know why it's pretending I could have used that. Yeah. Crap. Oh, I'm really hoping there's a health kit nearby. Because otherwise I'm going to be in quite a nasty situation. Now, fortunately... Oh, shit. Okay, maybe not so fortunately. Damn, I was trying to be too reckless there. This is a problem. Okay, better deal with a flood. Wait. Are they going to just fight the Covenant? This might actually be better. Yeah. That's one thing I do like about this, is that the Flood and the Covenant fighting each other. See, this is another layer of Halo's combat that I love, is that it's very dynamic. You can make a lot of decisions on the fly, and a lot of different areas of the sandbox all interact with each other. Different things drain shields, different things take out Flood, different things take out Covenant. I mean, I've been over the... Oh, God, there was health here the whole time! Come on. But the good news is, now that we're here and we've got a big old reload of shotgun ammo, we don't really need other weapons. We're fine. Mind you, a pistol would come in quite handy right now. But, alas. So, at this point in the level, we can still see that, yeah, the Flood are around, but the Covenant are still largely in control. We'll see how long that lasts. You may call it overkill, I just call it surviving. Yep, Flood. See, they're coming towards us from this direction. Reload. The other thing that's always exciting about the shotgun is that you trade reload speed for weapon speed, which is quite fun. So again, it's like you can keep firing the shotgun, but you have to trade off when you reload. I hate that those things like just poke through the door. Technically, that's clipping and shouldn't be happening, but it does sort of sell the idea that the other side of the door is swarming with the things. It's again one of those interesting things where sometimes mistakes add to the game. Right. So these are the bridges I'm talking about now. These begin to really suck here. Because you may remember, in the previous level, we had Flood with rocket launchers. So we've got Covenant on one end, Flood on another. That guy's got an energy sword who can take us out instantly, if we're not careful. Plasma pistol bolt, which can take us out quickly without warning. And rocket launcher Flood will soon be coming back, which can kill us very quickly without warning, as well as requiring us to stay on top of a lot of enemies at once. So that's fun. Just gonna have to thin these guys out as much as possible. Oh god. I'm trying to be cautious because I don't want to slow the pace of this down by dying too many times. Sometimes you just burn ammo for certainty. No, I'm almost certain a bunch of enemies are going to come through that door the moment it opens. No? Okay. I'll take that. Okay. I like these corridors as well. Big burst of enemies there. Nice little way to settle the pace back down. And then we go in here. Which is another sign of sometimes it's better to just leave an empty space and not fill it with anything so your player can get reacclimatized. You don't want to do that too often, but it can sometimes be a useful trick. Oh shit, they've got shotguns. Shotguns are another thing that I don't like it when enemies have, because again, they're good at killing Flood, they're also good at killing me, because Flood likes to be close. And yeah, there are quite a lot of them. Shotgun is incredibly effective against Flood, but it does have its limits. And again, weirdly enough, it's not that good at dealing with infection forms. Which is not ideal. You guys really should have been paying more attention, huh? Shit. Gotta weave through cover here. You guys gonna come through there. Chuck a grenade here. on there. Oh god, that would have been bad. He had a rocket launcher. But now they're mobbing us from multiple directions, so we're going to weave back. Yep. Run around. Doing the whole Nazi zombie strategy. You just want to lead them in a nice little merry-go-round, and as soon as you get a good opening, you want to unload. Which is also a good strategy for the shotgun. Pop these guys. Carrier forms the flood equivalent of the grenade, which is not ideal, because again, if you don't stay on top of them, they swarm you quickly. However, I think we're coming up on another... No. Jesus. I think I heard a rocket launcher there. Oh, Christ. Fucking extendo arms as well, which is not ideal. Just want to kill these guys as quickly as possible. Grab the health kit. I'm so grateful that they had that. Oh! Oh, God! That little explodey radius. Okay. Right. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Yeah, right. This music cue. I seem to remember this bridge being a fucking nightmare. Yep, so already mobbing us from there. Already got a bunch of them coming this way. Yeah. They're packing a lot more flood on this bridge. And there's not a lot of safety, but we're going to do what we can with it. I feel like I overhype how difficult these bridges are, but honestly, when they go badly, they really go badly. I'm just used to dealing with them, I guess. Yeah. I hate these bridges half the time. Yeah. But you see what I mean by, like, very little safe space here. Because again, I'm waiting for my shields to recharge, but the infection forms, even if they're doing very minimal damage, reset the timer on the shield regen. So that's their little asset. They're not very threatening on their own, but they're enough to really ruin your day if you can't stay on top of them. Also, nice little visual priming there. Covenant Banshees not really firing on me. It could very easily have been firing on me, but what they're really designed to do is tip you off to the presence of the rocket launcher flood. However, now they are aware of my presence. So I think what they're intending is that you grab the rocket launcher from that flood and use it against the Banshee. But again, we've got the handheld flat cannon. We don't really need to worry about that. Now, weirdly enough, this isn't much of a threat, but I don't want it harrying us while we're in the open, because again, flying threats, they overwhelm you without you realizing. So we don't want that on the agenda. Kinda sucks, because I really like this song usually. So I think there might be another Banshee. Yep. I don't want to get too close, because again, that guy with a rocket launcher can come out of nowhere. And again, if I die at any point on this bridge, I have to do that all again. So it becomes a bit of a nightmare. But I think... yeah, okay. I think he died in a grenade chain reaction. Oh, checkpoint. Fantastic. You don't usually get checkpoint triggers on this bridge, but I think it's literally just because all of these flood are dead. I have seriously lucked out. But we're just going to try and plow through as many of these infection forms as possible. Grenade down. Take out a large cluster of them. And here we go. Man, the music here is great. I do like this song. Majorly pop them. So these guys are downed. That's interesting. A whole lot of infection forms gathered around an elite, and he's not been infected. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it would be kind of interesting if it was, just to signify that there are certain people that the flood can't infect. Because, you know, even in this game we've had hints of it. Because remember, Jenkins, the guy we got the footage of earlier, oh shit, okay, I just died. Yeah, no, Jenkins, the guy we got the footage off earlier, he wasn't infected by the flood. Even though they had ample opportunity to do it, and he was dead. So, kind of suggests that he may have been immune. And we will find characters in these games that are immune to flood infection, although the game won't necessarily explain that very clearly. But yeah, that's the other thing about flood infection as well, is it's life with sufficient biomass and cerebral ability, they mentioned in the earlier scene. So... that becomes... The question with the Halo rings is obviously, why would you design it to kill all sentient life? Isn't that what the Flood wants to do anyway? Surely we should just let them. Well, not quite. So, what the Halo rings do is they kill life with sufficient biomass and cognitive capability, as we just mentioned. So, the Flood, having those limits, it kills what the Flood can consume, but it leaves smaller life basically untouched. I'm pretty sure that was apparent, but I might as well just go into it anyway. But yeah, so it leaves smaller life untouched. So you wipe out the galaxy, and then you let new life evolve, or new life that you have kept safe evolve. Because again, there are areas of the Halo rings that have been able to preserve life, hence the Flood being here at all. Which is interesting as well. Because again, the Flood survived. The Flood were preserved. Kind of ties into that whole ideal of this Halo ring being a place where life can flourish. And I have the suspicion, and I've been building up to this for a long time, Halo was it was designed as a fortress world. It wasn't just gonna be where we fire the weapon to wipe out the Flood. It was also gonna be where we keep a catalogue of life that could be used to repopulate the galaxy once the Flood menace has been extinguished. But again, it's an weapon of absolute last resort. So, there are limits to that capability. This gargling is really putting me off. I'm trying to think of where to go here, because there are only so many spots. We went dead ahead. Oh, wait, no. The bronze lights are usually a good indication of where to go. I just went down that way. We'll keep circling around, we'll find the way forward. I'm aware that I've got lost a lot during this playthrough, but to be fair, Halo 1's level design is a little bit labyrinthine in that way, so I think of all the games where I could get lost, this makes the most sense. Right.
Okay, let's take care of the next pulse generator.
Okay, yeah, cool, we'll get right on that. We can flip these vehicles, nice. So, I'm gonna nick the ghost, because we kinda have to. This guy down. And we've got a David and Goliath situation, which the correct answer is to run away from. Just run, because I don't want to do that. So again, this is the Halo tradition of, this is clearly designed to stop the ghost from going this way, but if you can fit it through, might as well fit it through. Why not? And it gives us an advantage we can use later on anyway. Okay. Let's stop for a second and take stock of what we've got here. Pistol ammo, yes. Health pack, yes. Assault rifle we don't need. Warthog. One of those weird situations which is probably less useful than the ghost. But I'll take it. We did just lose a lot of health there. Rockets would be useful for taking out vehicles, but I'd honestly rather not right now. Okay. Yeah, again, the Ghost will be more fun to use in future games, but again, you know, the fact that they're letting us use these vehicles, that's the other thing as well, is it is kind of cool just to know, hey, if they've dropped a weapon or there's like a vehicle that's unmanned here, you can totally use it. We're not going to stop you. Why would we? And that's one of the attitudes I kind of like about the Halo games, is it never really feels like they're taking toys away from you. It always feels like if they've got a cool idea for something that the player should be able to do, they'll let you do it. Why not? Seems like fun. Oh no! That was awful! Ah! Just clipped me. I thought it was directly targeting the Banshee, but apparently it wasn't. Oh well. Might be more sensible to take the Wraith out first. Okay, keep the Ghost on target. I think the mortar design as well on the Wraith is a particular stroke of genius, because it's hard to do tanks in a satisfying way, at least when you're fighting. Because again, how do you... If it can kill you instantly, that's not a lot of fun to fight, but if it can't kill you instantly, then it doesn't feel like you're fighting the tank. The Wraith is a good compromise. Its projectile is slow-moving and arcs, so you've got a lot of advanced warning, but it's still very powerful if it hits you. And the game usually puts you in big open spaces, or gives you a fast-moving vehicle, like the Banshees back there, or this Ghost, that you can use to outstrafe its shots. Which I think is pretty fucking cool. But we've taken it down now. Notice as well that these grunts didn't bother... Oh no, they did bother with the turret. Okay, I'm not sure how that makes sense, but... whatever. Light firepower is my best friend, so... doesn't really matter. So off we go. Like that music cue is synced to the Banshee. Also, this canyon area, keep this in mind for Halo 2. This is kind of cool. Because they'll reuse the exact sort of canyon layout for the control room in Halo 2 as well. Yeah. I don't think that's a spoiler to say that there's a Halo ring in Halo 2. But in case you didn't know, there's a Halo ring in Halo 2. So I mentioned that it really feels like they're taking toys away from you. Halo 1 is admittedly the case where that is the least true. So that's a fuel rod cannon that grunt just dropped that automatically detonated before we could use it, which is basically their version of the rocket launcher. Now, I believe people that future releases of this game, like on the custom edition for PC, you can use it and weapons like flamethrowers, but I think because they were originally planned for the game but were cut, and those versions add a whole lot back in. But this is the original Xbox version that's been released here, and I don't know if I go so far as to say it's the definitive version of this game, but it's definitely the one that's the most accessible for people, because I've never been able to play Custom Edition. It's a weird PC install. It's just probably not that complicated, but I've never felt a particular urge to try it out. I might, but not yet. So a lot of Covenant Flood here, which is annoying, because I'd quite like a refill on shotgun ammo. But there does not appear to be much to be had, so... bam. Pulse generator, and immediately we have enemies, so we're going to try and find cover. And back to the pistol. Which, fortunately, is powerful enough for us to do a lot of good, but that's a rocket launcher one. Yep, that grenade immediately blew up in our hand, so that didn't really work out. Alright. Boom.
That did it. The pulse generator overloaded. One more to go.
Okay, infection forms. I am holding on to the shotgun because I do want a guaranteed kill on at least one flood. And no. The extra weapon isn't worth it. The weapons they're carrying would be more useful, but only for keeping me alive, which getting them wouldn't do. Oh shit, they didn't back me into a corner. I'm just being foolish. Okay. Door here. I think this is the way out. So we've got one more of these objectives to go. Again, this is kind of the thing that I find lame about this level, is we're going to try and slow the monitor down in case they can find a way to fire Halo without the index. Alright, cool, whatever. Does mean we're doing basically the same thing 3 times in a row, but eh.
I've located the Pillar of Autumn. She put down 1,200 kilometers upspin. Energy readings show her fusion reactors are still powered up. The systems on the Pillar of Autumn have failsafes that I can't override without authorization from the captain. We'll need to find him, or his neural implants, to start the fusion core detonation. One target remaining. Let's take care of the final pulse generator.
So guys, we've just had our final mission objective given to us. Not for this level, but for the one coming up. We've got to go and get keys again.
That tunnel leads to the next section of canyon. The final pulse generator we need to destroy is through there.
Cooly cool. Yeah, so unfortunately the Banshee is not really all that accurate. And I'm finding it kind of difficult to control, so I am actually just taking the approach of I'm going to try and drift past us. Well, that didn't go the way I planned, did it? Fucking hell. Alright. Try and drift past as many enemies as possible. Did not go how I wanted it to.
I've located the Pillar of Autumn. She put down 1,200 kilometers upstream.
I like that they keep using the word upspin as well. That kind of... It sells the ring and the different methods of navigation you'd have to use. Which I quite like.
We'll need to find him, or his neural implants, to start the fusion core detonation. One target remaining.
Actually, I think it's...
Let's take care of the final
that is to do with the ring, right?
That
That would
tunnel
make sense.
leads to the next section of canyon. The final destroyed is through there.
Yeah. Fortunately, you can't spin in this game, so can't do any fancy tricks. But... So we remembered that there are rocket launcher flood down here, so I'm going to thin out as many of these guys as I can. Just with this sort of like low ground assault. Strafing runs not really being ideal, because again the projectile speed on the Banshee here is not great. It's not awful, it's just not great, so again if I'm moving too quickly I'm not going to hit anything. Which sort of sucks. But hey, that elite made the rookie mistake of trying to get in a turret. So what does he know? Anyway, I am going to ditch the Banshee for a moment. Just because I want to make sure I don't get blindsided by any rocket launchers. Although in fairness, that's probably going to happen anyway. I don't even think you actually... No, wait. What am I saying? You totally do. Oh, Christ. Yeah. Oh, you saw that? Oh, fuck off! So you see the Covenant, so the Flood get back up there, and then you see why Rocket Flood is so annoying, because they don't have to give a shit about their personal safety. Alright, fuck it. We got further with the plan of just try and rush past these guys last time, so I'm gonna give that one a go. But I am gonna ditch the Banshee the moment that it becomes a bit convenient for me. So large volume of fire, large volume of fire, large volume of fire. No. God damn it. This bit's annoying. Because again, I could do this sensibly, but I feel like the sensible approach takes too long. Maybe I should stop rushing. My driving instructor keeps telling me. Real talk for a moment. I'm learning to drive right now, and that's kind of fun, but it's interesting, but it's very stressful, so I keep getting anxious and rushing procedures. And I feel like it's kind of the performance anxiety thing of like, oh shit, people are watching, or like, people want me to move on with this level, so I feel the need to rush. I know it's a silly thing that I probably shouldn't be feeling, but nevertheless I kind of worry about it. Because at the end of the day, I want to be entertaining for people, and I want this to be fun to watch. And I hope it has been. The feedback to this has been very nice so far. I might take a short break before we move on to Halo 2, but then again I might not, it depends. But hey, if you're hurt for Halo 2 content in the meantime, you can check out the fun little casual campaign playthrough I did with Ivar Sorrows down on his Twitch. So I'm going to put a link up to that in the description of this video. And I hope you guys will go and check that one out, because he's a great guy, he does great stuff, and we had a lot of fun playing through that game. Fuck me. Come on! I'm basically just trying to use this like a ghost right now, but you see my issue with the accuracy. Right. Let's ditch. Okay. Okay, that... Not gonna lie. Well, these effects are kind of janky. It is nice that they've decided to include this. The sort of scraping across the snow and the sort of drifting down. It's also great because it means I can move it without having to pilot it. I am, however, because it's always this fucking bit. Wanker! Oh no, 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 no. Oh, thank God. That son of a bitch. I'm willing to bet there's another one around the corner. No. this is somehow the most tense bit of this game. Where I've got a fucking flying vehicle. Ooh. Drums. Drums in the deep. Alright. Here we go. Oh shit! I never noticed that. Okay, so I can't take the Banshee through here anyway. That's neat. Oh, I have to go on foot through this section. Shit. Alright. Off we go. I'm really glad that we didn't decide to drop any more tanks in for the Covenant to use, for the Flood to use. Jesus. That would have been nasty. Alright. Fortunately, and by fortunately I think I mean weirdly, don't seem to be... Oh, no, there we go. I was wondering where everyone was. Yep. Oh, yep. No, fucking hell. Yeah. I have suboptimal weapons for this section. Like a sniper would have been great, but... Alright. We'll have it your way. God, the rocket flood are just absolute nightmares. This guy comes back to life. They really sell the zombie vibe, these guys. Also, I am sorry, but we're going to take a closer look at the combat forms in Anniversary graphics. So here we can much more clearly see that these are Marines that have been screwed up by some kind of fleshy fungal growth, which is unfortunate. But again, it does look kind of cool. I am sticking with the original for that. Oh, blast. So the good news is the projectile speed on the rockets is slow enough if you are not distracted that you can dodge them with relative efficiency. I'm genuinely intrigued about how long this episode is going to come out as, by the way, because it might be that this is the first episode that we have to do in 2 parts. I'm hoping it won't be. As long as it's under an hour in length, I think we're fine, but... Man, I just don't know. Alright. Open up, you. Oh yeah, you know what I was saying earlier about have a quiet moment for the player to get reacclimatized? Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between pacing, having little there, and just literally having a really long corridor with nothing in it. This one's okay, but just keep it in mind, walking through empty space isn't always the most fun thing. Modern video games use... Well, sorry. I almost lost my cool there, guys. I'm so happy to hear you say final run, because I can't lie to you, I am done with snow. On so many levels. But yep, fighting over there. Dudes over here. Okay, we're gonna have to try and be... Okay, no, fuck precision. We're out of ammo. Carrier. Gun down these guys. Gun down this guy again, because he's a glutton for punishment. And who can blame him? More assault rifle ammo. No pistol ammo. Okay. Unfortunate, but hey, now we're at least actually using Chief's signature weapon. Ah, if I'd ranged that a little bit differently, that would have been absolutely epic. I love how loud all of the collisions are in this one. I'm just going to thin out the Covenant position and glide around where the Flood are. I can guarantee they've got a rocket. Yep, there's a rocket guy. Yeah, we thought some crazy tricks would be fun, but then we realized that we were bad at this game. So, this is why I'm still a learner driver. That's the problem. I keep trying to avoid the zombies on my road. It sucks. Alright. I see that there, in order to dodge the rockets, was something called zigzagging. So if your name is Recon, you want to pay close attention to that trick. Ah, damn it. It's not floaty enough. Okay, now I do actually need to get up that wall quite bad. Oh, shit. Okay. I need to get up this wall before that rocket guy appears, because otherwise I'm screwed. Oh, come on! Was I repelled off that by a fucking fern? Ah, Jesus. Alright. At least I can still use the scope on this. Okay. I can't lie. I am Oh, come. Okay, no. I was about to say I was feeling that atmosphere, but now it can fuck off. Because nothing ruins an atmosphere like a fucking cheap-ass kill from 50 miles away. Oh, God. Oh. But, like, this is a great horror setting right now. And, weirdly enough, frustrating gameplay isn't actually that good for horror. Oh, for God's sake. Absolute fucking cockwaffle. Right, you little shit. Where are you? See, this is the thing as well. I'm low on ammo, so if I had a pistol, I wouldn't mind so much. But this fucking dude. Okay. Oh, come on! What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Okay, right. Let's approach this more strategically. We know he's over there. So if I stay close to the wall... Now, I know the splash damage will get me. But as long as I'm marking my targets carefully enough, I should be able to circumvent him, and he shouldn't get clear line of sight. Just avoid the bulk parties. Okay. Yeah, this is a good idea. Okay. Don't engage. Just let them fight each other. Now I'm on the side with the Covenant on it. They're going to be much easier to deal with. As long as they don't pay me any attention. I've almost got to the Banshees. Fantastic. As long as I play my cards carefully. Got it! Right, move, 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 move! Oh, I feel like a thief. But we are just going to drift to the left. And to the right. Oh, I'm really missing the Banshee tricks right now. I love the Flood theme. It's so tense. Got it, right. And we've got Sentinels, but it's okay. Oh god, right, no! Oh no! Oh. Right when I think something cool's about to happen, I fuck it up. Oh god. Alright. Hang on. No, get out of the Banshee. I don't need the Banshee, I need the rockets. You know, for the weapons that were specifically designed to kill the Flood, you guys aren't very good. You alright, buddy? Okay, I just wanted to check in. Alright, last room coming up. Ready for action. Pretty sure I just win if I get into that field anyway, but let's make sure I'm not going to die first, just in case. Okay. This is the thing with the Sentinels, again, they're quite powerful en masse because they will stop your shields from recharging. Oh. Rockets are not good weapons against Sentinels, I'm learning. And they can break glass. Such bullshit. Glass reflects laser beams. I've learned this from Hollywood 500 times. This is one thing I find interesting as well, is that Covenant weaponry is weirdly, like, human weaponry is very good at killing the Flood. Covenant weaponry is very good at killing the things that stop the Flood. I don't know what to think about that. I think that's quite interesting. I don't know if that's necessarily intended or particularly deep, but it's kind of a fun thing to think about. Oh, for fuck's sake. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't have been so mocking towards them before. Any moment of fucking hubris in this game immediately punishes me. I'm loving it, but it's very annoying. Yep. I mean, it is also a case of my weapon here is just garbage. Because again, like, maybe there is a reason. Maybe they did originally plan to start you out in this level with an assault rifle, but then they realized that that made the Sentinel fight a fucking nightmare. But it doesn't really matter. Because again, if I had a plasma pistol right now, this would be an absolute cakewalk, but unfortunately... Ah, Christ alive. No. Come on, you. God damn it, just drop dead. Thank you. I don't know why it keeps calling me eagle-eyed. I think I've burned at least 200 rounds on these guys, and I've got one clip left. Oh, and 2 rockets, though. Should be enough. Finally! Ah. The end. At last.
Final target neutralized. Let's get out of here.
Let's find a ride and get to the captain.
No, that'll take too long.
You have a better idea.
There's a teleportation grid that runs throughout Halo. That's how the monitor moves about so quickly. I learned how to tap into the grid when I was in the control center. Unfortunately, each jump requires a rather consequential expenditure of energy.
Something tells me I'm not gonna like this.
But I'm pretty sure I can pull it from your suit without permanently damaging things. Needless to say, I think we should only try this once.
Another one of those wonderful cases of Bungie going, yeah, how do we jump levels? Just teleport. Why haven't we been teleporting this whole time? Yeah, drain it from his shield. They consider that to be the worst cutscene in the game. I'm not inclined to disagree. I don't think I'd be that harsh about it. But anyway, now we're heading on to the level keys to stage a 1 cyborg assault on a Covenant ship and bring back the captain. We're in the end run of the game now, folks. Just this level and 1 more left. Penultimatum. I love it. See you next time. Thank you very much for watching.